Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. My name is David and this is David K Reacts. This is going to be a little bonus video I'm recording. At the time of recording, I'm just 2 days away from my 1 month anniversary of recording and putting reactions up on YouTube. And I wanted to record a little celebration video of sorts. And so that's what this is. I was about to say I still got the head cold, but you guys don't know I've got a head cold yet because the first video I recorded with it hasn't come out. I'm going to be away for a little bit this weekend coming, and so I recorded a couple of videos ahead of time with a head cold, unfortunately, to make sure I had content because I don't have much time at the moment. And of course, as it stands right now, that head cold has not gone anywhere, and so unfortunately you're going to hear a little bit of that in my video today. I apologize for that. It has at least gone up into my head, so it may be a bit more in my voice, but I'm feeling a bit more chipper than I was. Unfortunately, I was a little bit less bouncy than normal in my last video. Anyway, I am going to react to one, possibly more, because I know they're a little short and maybe a little less to discuss. I'm not sure. We'll see. But certainly to one of the Aka Top 10 videos, which people have been telling me about. As I understand it, these are older. They're not pre-recorded and produced. They're recorded directly in front of microphones. So it's a bit more of a live atmosphere. And I am really interested in checking them out. I believe I'm also going to run into Tony a bit more in these videos, who I haven't really seen much of because I have been reacting to more recent videos, obviously with the exception of Survivor. So I'm interested to see what these are like. If you haven't seen my channel before, what I normally do is I watch the whole thing through, react to it completely naturally without interrupting it, and then go back and break it down. I don't quite know the vibe that these videos take, so we'll see how that goes with that. I may do the same thing. It might be a little different. I don't quite know what I'm expecting. Yeah, that's sort of how I do things, so we'll see how this video goes. Please do like this video if you enjoy it. Please subscribe to the channel, hit the bell for notifications of whenever I post. Normally once a week. As I say, this is a bonus for my anniversary, my 1 month anniversary. If you are interested in donating to help the channel, to give me an opportunity to grow it a little bit more, please head to buymeacoffee.com/DavidKReacts. No pressure to do so, but would be lovely if you did. I've actually just added a new light onto my wish list there that I will get when I can, just because the lighting in my basement studio down here is terrible. I thought that for a little bit, and then a couple of people sort of said, yeah, you're coming up a little bit dark. And I was like, yeah, okay, it's time to upgrade now. So that's my goal at the moment. Anyway, without further ado, I've chosen Broadway as my first one, partly because I've already reacted to Wicked, and I know Phantom and there's a couple of other videos I can't think of right now that are in my future. Oh, I know some of the Disney ones as well. We'll see what's in this Broadway medley. Or, I don't know, is it a medley or did they do short excerpts? I have no idea what I'm expecting. So we'll just check this out and see how it goes. So first things first, I can see straight away we have Jeff in a Les Mis t-shirt and Lane in a Book of Mormon t-shirt, so I suspect we will hear something from each of those. I'm also noticing there's only 2 people, so maybe this starts out with just the 2 of them. I don't know. Let's have a go at this and see what happens. So this is the Aka Top 10 Broadway.
You're a little bit racist.
Well, Avenue Q. Nice.
I guess we're both a little bit racist. Admitting it is not an easy thing to do.
Are they behind? They are behind.
Number 10. Everyone's a little bit racist. Sometimes, every now and then. That's when you go running. Hate crimes. Everyone makes judgments. Number 9.
Oh, cute. Jersey Boy? Yep, Jersey Boys.
Sherry baby, Sherry, can you come out tonight?
Nice.
Oh,
Oh, Beauty and the Beast. I've never seen this. On Broadway, I mean. Or on stage.
Denying she's a funny girl, that Belle.
Belle reading the Book of Mormon. Rent, yes. Makes sense.
How do you measure a year? How about
La. Sorry. It's really hard not to sing along to this. Oh, nice.
number 6 of the house?
Oh, Les Mis, there we go. Oh, interesting choice.
Everybody's everybody's chaperone. But lock up your valises, Jesus, won't I skin you to the
Oh, nice.
and all that jazz.
Love me some Chicago.
Oh, she's gonna shimmy till the garters break.
And all that jazz.
Yes, Jeff.
Show
Hooray to Parker Cattle.
oh, we're number 4. He lives in you.
Okay, yep.
He lives in me. And the mailer, we watches over.
Saw this once when I was 16,
Everything he
I think. Haven't seen it since. Great show.
sees. Number 3. Oh, popular.
Of course. Nice.
Crash, bam, boom, kidding.
I'll come back to that. Yep, here we go, Phantom. Nice. Ooh, nice.
My power over you grows stronger yet.
Oh, yes. That's awesome.
The opera is there. Inside your bing-bong.
Yep, there we go, Book of Mormon.
Change your life. The Book of Mormon. Mormon. Bing bong.
Oh, that was good.
Hey everyone, thanks so much for watching. We had a lot of really great comments on our last video. Special thanks go to Enrique Barone for suggesting Broadway. Don't forget to subscribe to our
Good
YouTube
choice.
channel, follow us on Facebook, like us on Instagram. Until next time, hello!
Oh, getting hit. Okay, I'm going to stop myself getting spoilers for other videos I haven't seen because that looks unfamiliar. That is so much fun. Oh, I love that. That's great. I have seen, actually, the only one of those shows, and I'm going to divide my audience right now, but the only one of those shows I haven't actually ever seen is Rent. Partly, I've just never had the opportunity. I feel like that's a show you need to see. Here, I'll lose this for a minute. I feel like that's a show that you need to see professionally done. And I haven't been in the right city at the right time for that. But also, I don't know. The story of Rent the musical and how it was made and all that sort of thing has spoken to me a great deal. But for some reason, I've never felt the drag to see it that most people have. I don't know. It's strange. I don't fully get that. Right. I was just looking to see. Yeah. So this was 8 years ago, 2014. Okay. The selections all make a great deal of sense. This was so good. I love that. This is absolutely up my street. I think I am going to go back and dissect this. I probably won't do it in as much detail as normal. And what I might do is I might just put a second one of these in as a result of that. But I do just want to talk about these because this was so good. So I'm going to jump back to the beginning. I don't know. We'll see. I'm not quite sure what form this breakdown will take, but let's see. Oops.
You're a little bit racist.
Well, you're a little bit too. I guess we're both a little bit racist. Admitting it is not an easy thing to do.
But I guess it's true. Number 10.
I love that's such a fun start, having them hidden behind the cloth and it's just the two of them singing until the ooze come in. I like that a lot. I guess not everybody's necessarily seen all of the. I feel like most voice play viewers have mostly watched these, but of course Avenue Q is very famously an extremely controversial, I guess, puppet-based musical that pushes every boundary that it can as far as it can, and it's great for it. That's exactly what makes it so good. Witness the song "Everybody's a Little Bit Racist," or "Everyone's a Little Bit Racist," I think is the actual title. That's where they go, and it's fantastic. Yeah, this is a really fun place to start.
Admitting it is not an easy thing to do.
But I guess it's true. Number 10. Everyone's a little bit racist. Sometimes, every now and then. Doesn't mean we go around committing hate crimes. Everyone makes judgments. Number 9.
And of course, until number 9 comes in, that's actually fairly accurate to the sound of the musical in most ways, which is great. Then we go into Jersey Boys. Jersey Boys I've seen once. This is one of those shows. It sort of treaded the line between. Obviously, it's a jukebox musical. It's all Jersey Boys songs. But it treaded the line between being like a party musical and a more serious one. The performance that I went to go and see on the West End, somebody near the front row actually stood up towards the end and started dancing. I think they'd seen Mamma Mia recently, and I haven't seen Mamma Mia, but I believe that a lot of people do get up and start dancing towards the end of that show, and the whole auditorium's just kind of bopping around. And somebody did that in the middle of this and kind of got dragged back down again by their friends sitting on either side of them. But it's such a lot of fun. It's this sort of slightly fictionalized story of their formation and their tracking through their existence as a group. And it's really good fun. If you get the chance to see Jersey Boys, I recommend it. Yeah, very good.
Sherry baby, Sherry, can you come out tonight?
And I feel like, with the exception of the kind of more a cappella oriented harmony at the end, that feels. I haven't seen this for a long time, and I'm not I don't regularly. I love the Jersey Boys music. I don't regularly listen to it, but I feel like, with the exception of the little chord shifts at the end, that was pretty standard for how Sherry should sound. It's a great choice. These guys would do such a good job singing any Jersey Boys stuff. It's very much in the wheelhouse of their sound.
Oh, look, there she goes, the girl is strange, no question. New days and distracted, oh, can't you tell? That's found never part of any crowd. Cause I heard the fun some cloud. No denying she's a funny girl, that Belle.
Great. I mean, obviously, Beauty and the Beast, one of the most timeless movies ever. I tell a lie. This is the other show I have never seen on stage. I did mention that while we were going through it. I'd just forgotten it at the end there. But of course, we all know the movie. This is her walking through the town with a book. Hence, Earl is about to bring out the Book of Mormon. I'm just trying to imagine a version of Beauty and the Beast where Belle's reading the Book of Mormon. I can't. I don't know where that's going, but this is great. I like that they have the sort of breakdown element on the third line through this verse. Gets a little bit more electronic for a second and then breaks back in again. Also, I sincerely apologize to Lane for this freeze frame. Just going to jump back a few seconds.
No denying she's a funny girl, that Belle. Oh, isn't this amazing?
Love Earl getting carried away there. It's very, very Belle at this point in the story to kind of get lost in the book for a second. That's fantastic.
Number 7, 525,600 minutes. How do you measure a year? How about love? How about love? Number 6.
Of course, one of the most classic musical theatre songs of all time. Who isn't a fan of musical theatre and hasn't sung along to that at some point in time? Probably many times. Rent's a fantastic musical. It's based on La Bohème, which is an opera by Puccini. I've been in a production of La Bohème when I was younger. I think it's about 14. But I have never seen Rent, as I mentioned before. It's something I really should see, and I genuinely do want to at some point, but I feel like it's one of those things you want to see a professional production of, like I was saying earlier. But I know it's about a group of artists who are trying to kind of create their work in Lower Manhattan during the AIDS crisis. And of course has a lot of poignancy around Jonathan Larson and his passing and all that sort of thing. And it's something that I would be very, very keen to see at some point in time. I can't talk much to it, but I love their run of Seasons of Love. I think that's great. I would love to hear them do that song in full. I think that would be a lot of fun.
Number 6 of the house. Quickly catch your eye. Never wants to pass a by the passing by. Everybody's the companion. Oh, everybody's chaperone. But lock up your valises. Jesus, won't I skin you to the...
Ellie would make such a good Thénardier. I would love to see that. Les Mis, fantastic show. If you don't know it, the Thénardiers are troublemakers, essentially, who get by on pinching anything they can find and taking advantage of the revolution that's happening in France to get rich quick, or at least try to do so, and run this extremely disreputable tavern. And they have a lot of run-ins with the major characters as well. Thénardier is a fantastic part. And I would love to see Ellie play that, actually. I think he would be so much fun. It's, again, fairly typical of how the musical sounds. It's interesting. Some of these, they're kind of veering slightly away, and some of them, they're sticking more traditional. I like this blend. It's really cool.
Whoa, you're gonna see a shimmy, shimmy, shake.
And all that jazz. Oh, she's gonna shimmy till the gutters break.
And all that jazz.
Show
Hooray to Parker Cattle.
Oh, we're number 4.
I love the transition through that. You start with it all fairly tightly together chordally. Jeff's a little higher, and it's all sort of fairly tight. And then when it comes around to the second iteration, it drops. Jeff drops down into the bass. He then sings the All That Jazz that time around, and we expand right out, and then it cuts down to fewer voices at a time as it merges through. I love the flexibility they show in there. Chicago, of course, Kander and Ebb musical. Kander and Ebb, I think one of my top composer duo in this case, shortly behind Sondheim. I love Kander and Ebb's work. This is one I've seen many times on the West End. It was long. I don't know if it still is running, but it was running for a very long time. And I got to see many very good people play the parts in this. It also has the entire band on stage, which is a lot of fun. And I had a very distinct privilege when I was the assistant musical director of a music workshop. I got to duet on a piano, so 4 hands on a piano, with the current musical director of Chicago. And it was utterly terrifying, because I think, as I understand it, the 2 pianos that are on stage in Chicago are the 2 most sought-after pianist gigs in the entirety of the West End, which means they're also the best pianists on the West End. And it was, I felt so outclassed playing the piano with this musical director. It was just, it was another world of piano playing. It was fantastic. But yeah, Chicago, if you ever get the chance to see Chicago, it's great. The movie actually is also, I should say this, there's movies of many of these. Obviously, Beauty and the Beast was a movie, became a musical. But there's movies of several of these, or filmed. I know they did a filmed performance of Rent. But yes, the movie of Chicago, I genuinely really enjoy. I think they did a really good job of it, and I think it's fairly honest to the stage production as far as the movie goes, which is fantastic. I really like it. So yeah, Chicago's great.
Parade of honker cattle.
Oh, we're number 4. He lives in you. He lives in you. He lives in me. Hela, hema, mela. Hela, we watches over. Oh, everything he sees. No.
I can't remember who sings "He Lives in You" in the show. I should probably have had that information in front. Well, I couldn't have had that information. I didn't know what they were going to sing. But I love this Ellie just sailing up top there. The quality of his voice in this it's so good. I've realized I'm not talking so much about the singing. It's more about their arrangements again, which of course is one of my focuses. But the singing in this is so good, especially because this is me hearing them. You know what it is? I'm so used to hearing them sound so good already, I'm forgetting that this isn't as produced. Like, they're just sitting in front of the microphones. Lane doesn't have the crazy amount of production that enhances his already astonishing beatboxing, like the reverb and the, it's just, this is it coming out raw. I think it is a comment on how good they are that I almost didn't think to talk about it, because I'm used to them being that good in videos where they have pre-recorded. And so hearing them just sing straight is fantastic. Yeah, this is astonishing.
Number 3. Oh, popular. I know I'm popular. And it's an assist to me to be who you be. Instead of being who you were. Well, are. There's nothing that can stop you from becoming popular.
It's interesting seeing this, having reacted to Wicked as the first video of theirs I did, and seeing the sort of prototype for some of what they then did. Like, you've got Lane, that whatever that was, the is in there still, and there's some idea. There's a little bit of the sound that's still there now. Obviously, you had Emily singing in the Wicked video, so it's a very different sound to Earl. But the basis of the arrangement is there, and obviously Jeff's had I understand he worked on the Wicked arrangement for something like 7 years. This is probably part of the genesis of that. And I can totally understand why. They're having so much fun singing this, and the arrangement is already sounding really, really good. I love the dynamic of, like, Tony being, go pick on him. It's lovely. I love what they're doing with this. Fairly typical to the show. They haven't broken out too much, with the exception of Lane's little fill there. But really, really nicely arranged for their voices.
You from becoming popular. La, 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 you'll be popular.
Just before we go on to this, I love it. It's also Earl's really showing off here. Like, he really gets to everybody in this. This is what I like so much, and we're about to get Tony. Obviously, Lane's just going throughout and sounds spectacular. I'm really, really impressed with the clean sound here, and Jeff gets his moments as well. Earl in this is sounding so good. I love hearing the amount that this group gives each individual member a chance to shine is wonderful.
Crash, bam, boom, kidding.
One, I love that. That's hilarious. Two, I have a slight soft spot for Spider-Man. I have a soft spot for its inventiveness and its attempt at being so much more than it could be. I think I saw it twice. I saw it before the rewrite and after the rewrite, which when they wrote it originally, I won't go. I suspect most people know about the nightmares of trying to put Spider-Man onto Broadway. If you don't know that story, just Google it. It's extraordinary. But I know that. But when they wrote it originally, they had this group of 3 kids who would interrupt the story and come out and commentate on it like they were reading the musical as a comic, and it was so jarring. It really broke away from everything that was going on. And they rewrote a whole bunch of it, including writing those kids out. And I then saw it later, and it was a much more cohesive story, but it was too little too late. I think if it had been the show it was afterwards, beforehand, and then they'd rewritten it and made it even better, it might have got a chance to go somewhere. But there were too many injuries, it was too expensive, there was way too much with that show to give it a chance. But there are a couple of songs in it. I think Boy Falls from the Sky is actually a good song, and there's a couple of other bits in it where the music is actually not bad, and I quite enjoy it, and I get stuck in my head for a couple of days. I also know somebody who played Spider-Man on Broadway, and that is, I sort of have a soft spot because of that as well. I saw him the second time I saw it, and I didn't know anything about who he was, and I met him about 3.5 years later, and it was just so cool to kind of meet him and talk to him about it since, and that was quite a privilege. So yeah, I have a soft spot for Spider-Man, but at the same time, I don't think it belongs on anyone's top 10 list of 2014 shows.
Sing once again with me, a strange duet. My power over you grows stronger yet.
Oh, that's so good. Now, I understand there is a Phantom of the Opera, the song, or is it a medley? I'm not sure. But I know that VoicePlay have done a full video of that, which I'm looking forward to seeing, and I believe Tony is the Phantom, and I'm so excited to see that. Now I'm hearing him do this because, wow, he sounds good. I know a couple of the Phantoms from the West End, the theatre I grew up working at when I was a teenager. Put a lot of people into the West End. I knew the guy who originated Trekkie Monster in Avenue Q, but somebody I worked with when I was 13, I think, went on. He was a GI in Miss Saigon, then he understudied Javert in Les Mis. He was a Phantom for a while. He's been the Beast in Beauty and the Beast on tour. He's done a lot of West End shows that I am particularly partial to already. So I have a huge soft spot for anything he's been in. Les Mis was my favourite show until I really got into Sondheim, and Phantom was right behind it. So these are shows I really, really love. So I love what they're doing here. I love this drop that Jeff just suddenly puts in there. It's the menace that's behind that is so suitable for this show. It's fantastic.
Grow stronger yet. The Phantom of the Opera is there. Inside your mom.
And you get that lovely, again, that slight electronic feel, which is so good. It really suits this style of song, and the lovely harmony that climbs up there in the background. This all is so effective, and I actually really, really like it. And then you have this absolutely perfect juxtaposition of Book of Mormon coming in, which is, one of the most ridiculous shows you'll see. So, also, yeah, I love Tony's voice singing in there, and then giving it over to the tenors. This is I think might be my favorite arrangement in this video. It's really, really good. I do have to touch on that because that is so well done. If you haven't seen the Book of Mormon, this song is called Hello. It's the opening song of the show, and it's just a bunch of elders going around, ringing people's doorbells, saying hello to them and asking if they would like to talk further. And it gets to this wonderful point where it's they're singing, you need to talk to us and convert, so you weren't burned, so you weren't burned, so you weren't burned in hello. And that's what Tony's riffing off there. And it's this lovely gag of you weren't burned in hell, but actually goes into hello. It's really, really well done. This, if you didn't know, is written by the writers of South Park. They always wanted to write a musical, which is why there's so many musical numbers in South Park as well, and they eventually got round to writing the Book of Mormon, which, if you didn't know that, explains the craziness of the humor, but I suspect most people do. It's such a good show, but that number one right here is so good.
Number This book will change your life. The Book of Mormon.
Lane sticking his finger through the paper. That's priceless. This is so good. It's interesting because the three guys at the back are sticking pretty strongly to the score, and then you have this kind of electronic breakdown by Jeff and Lane. It's really effective. I like that a lot. It's really cool what they've done with this. So yeah, kudos to them on a spectacular take on that song. This is such a good video. I love that. I think their selections are great. They're all things I'm familiar with in some way, and I really enjoy that. So yeah. This is a fabulous... Thank you. There are a couple of people... I said... I was going to start saying who recommended me to watch videos, and I realized I did not write down who recommended this one. A few people have recommended like a top 10, but somebody particularly recommended Broadway. So thank you, whoever it was. My apologies, I did not write your name down before I recorded this. But that is fantastic. I am going to do one more of these because these are great. But just before I do, I did just want to have a quick look. Okay, so Lane and Jeff both arranged this. That actually kind of makes sense to me because it did feel like I wasn't getting... I'm still not recognizing either of their styles directly, but it did feel like it wasn't... It was more of a mix, I think. That much I did kind of recognize, so that makes a huge amount of sense. That is so much fun. Well played, VoicePlay. That was spectacular. Now I'm seeing two. I don't know which one I want to do. I'm seeing two being recommended from that video, which is 80s cartoon themes and video games. I've just opened them both to see if the opening screen gives me any hints as to which one I want to do. Cartoon themes, I can't see an opening screen. So maybe I do video games. They're both excellent choices. You know what? I'm going to do cartoon themes. I'll come back to video games another time. That's a whole other nerd section of me, and I feel like I might end up talking more. So since this is going to be a longer video already, let's do 80s cartoon... Oh, what do I think? What's going to be in 80s cartoon themes? What was 80s? Was Ghostbusters? No, that was probably 90s. I'm not sure about that, actually. DuckTales. I feel like DuckTales should be in here somewhere. Fraggle Rock isn't a cartoon. Wow, I'm literally completely blanking as to what came out in the 80s. Transformers. I feel like there'll be Transformers in here somewhere. And I can't think of anything. Like, you know what? I'm going to give this up as a futile mission. Let's just watch the video, shall we? Oh, the Smurfs, right. I thought this was 90s actually, but okay. Ooh, that's Lowell. Oh, how did I not think of this? Of course. Ooh, nice. Oh, of course. How did I not think of Scooby either? Wow. Oh, okay. I never watched this. G.I. Joe.
Stories to share. All through the forest they sing out in chorus, marching along.
Nope, got no idea. Oh, okay. Never saw this either.
High adventure that's beyond compare. They are the gummy bears. Bears number 4. There's no case too big, too small. You need
Oh, Chippendale!
call Chippendale. Rescue Ranger.
So hard not to sing along. Oh, okay.
Fashion and fame. Gem is truly outrageous. Truly outrageous. But we're the misfits. Our songs are better. Yeah.
I don't know, Jem.
The misfits. Never mind. We're gonna Jetta. No one else is the same. Gem is my name too. Transformers.
Right, yep.
More than meets the eye. Autobots waste their battle to destroy the evil forces of the Decepticons. Transformers.
Appropriate.
Robots in the number ones like a hurricane.
Yes! Oh, I love this theme so much.
Birds, race cars, lasers, aeroplanes. It's a dark blur.
Might solve a mystery.
Or rewrite history. DuckTales. Ooh, whoa. Every day they're out to make it. DuckTales. Whoa.
Ooh, nice.
Tales of daring, do bad and good luck tales. Tales of daring, bad and good, not ponytails or cottontails, but DuckTales. Ooh.
Nice.
Hey! Thanks for watching, y'all. Make sure to subscribe, like, all that stuff. Big shout out to our patrons for supporting this video, and stay tuned for the next one. See you soon, y'all.
Okay, I was trying to stop that before the advert started, but cut Earl off. Oh, that is so much fun. Oh, things I had absolutely forgotten about in there. That's great. A couple of things I haven't seen. I don't know what made it. Like, some stuff may have not have made it to the UK. I'm not sure, but definitely a couple of things in there I don't recognize. Yeah. Oh, Gem and the Holograms. Was that a comic series as well? I worked briefly a few years ago here in Toronto in a comic and graphic novel shop, and I feel like Gem and the Holograms was re-released as a comic, because I'm pretty sure I remember seeing that there. I didn't remember the name on its own, but now that I read that together, I think maybe. Interesting. This one says arrangement voice play, so maybe more than just Lane and Jeff this time. That's very cool. Comment. I didn't read this. I should check back and see if there's anything on the Broadway one. But at the bottom of this, it's got Jim is truly outrageous. Truly, truly, truly outrageous. Whoa, Jim. Jim. That's such a weird song. Who the heck is Jim anyway? Is that something someone said while recording this? That would be amazing if that's the case. I do. Now that I know that, I have to go back to the Broadway one and just check if there was anything silly I missed there. I realize I didn't put the credit. I did not put the captions on. That was foolish. I'm going to do that for. Are there captions for this? Let's have a look. Oh no, there aren't captions. Okay, never mind. And they were auto-generated for the other videos, so I don't feel like I missed anything particular there. Okay, that's good. But yeah, let's go back and have a quick look at these cartoons again, because this was such a fantastic arrangement. Is that something? Oh, I didn't put the video back on. That was dumb. Whoops. Just says straight away the Smurfs is a thing. Okay. Was that a thing? I don't know. I'm not sure what that musical sting was. If somebody knows, please let me know.
Sing a happy song. La la
Can I just point out here that Janon and Ellie are also excellent whistlers? That was really in tune. And whistling in harmony is hard. I've tried it once. It was very difficult. I enjoy it. I never saw the Smurfs. I know it was a cartoon. I think I saw like a few seconds of it here and there, but I never actually watched it. But that's a really fun little melody. And seems ideally suited for Elle. It really fits nicely. But yeah, I can't say much about that one because I never saw it. But great fun. To date, still one of my favorite cartoon themes ever. Lane's versatility with his voice amazes me. To be able to make that ratchet sound, that's really impressive. Yeah, I loved it. I think this is such a good piece of music.
I'll get you next time, Gadget.
I'm also interested because Earl brought that microphone up. Was there some kind of voice changer on that, or is that just highlighting? But he might be quieter because he's going so low. Like it's off voice. It's very. I'll get you next time, Gadget. There's not a lot of it's all vibration sound and air sound rather than making tones. I wonder if that's maybe why he needed the microphone just to enhance it. That's an interesting one. But regardless, that's low for him. That's awesome.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, heroes in a half shell.
That's an interest. I like that change because it's usually heroes in a half shell, turtle power, right? If I remember correctly. I love that pause and then the long shell with the slide on it. That's really cool. That's a nice piece of arrangement. Here's a random fact for you. We didn't get the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles in the UK. No, we didn't. We got the Teenage Mutant Hero Turtles because ninjas were too violent. I don't know if that. I assume that changed at some point. But when I was young, they were Hero Turtles. And they changed the lyrics of the song, everything. It was a total shift because, I don't know, the ratings board, whoever it was, decided ninjas were too violent for kids, so they were going to be Teenage Mutant Hero Turtles. They still beat the snot out of everybody with weapons. Like nothing. I don't think anything else changed off the top. Maybe it did. I don't know. But the title did. Yeah, very random.
Turtle power. Yeah,
look, I got him. I always forget this part of the song because you never really listen to it. But I really I love the harmony they're using here. This is a really good song for them.
Ninja Turtle, the evil shredder attacks. These turtle boys want number 7. Scooby-Dooby-Doo, where are you? We've got some work to do now.
Wow, Jeff's treading some ground with that bass line. He jumped at one point. I'm going to go back on that. I think he did a huge jump. Maybe I just misheard something.
Where are you? We've got some work to
Like he's really treading some ground, and as always, his precision is spectacular. I love that he's got an opportunity to have a real kind of motion walking bass line. It's so much fun. He does it so well. Anyway, sorry.
The evil shredder attacks. These turtle boys want number 7. Scooby-Dooby-Doo, where are you? We've got some.
Ooh, Scooby-Dooby-Doo, where are you? Is what I would have sung. He did that Scooby-Dooby-Doo, where are you? Is that the melody? Have I been singing it wrong all these years? Or is that a change? Because if that's a change, it's really cool. That where are you? And if that's what it's supposed to be, and I've been singing it wrong this whole time, then I prefer the version it's supposed to be. I'm not sure now. I'm gonna have to go and check that out.
Number 7, Scooby-Dooby-Doo, where are you?
That's so nice.
Some work to do now. Scooby-Dooby-Doo, where are you? We need some help from you now.
Oh, that sounds so nice in his voice. That's a really nice choice for Janon to sing. This is maybe this isn't necessarily one of my favorite cartoon themes, but it's such a classic. You can't go wrong with this one. Sorry, just jumping back a section. I love Lane's little fill there. That's great. Is this part of the song? This next bit, or are they just arranging? Because if they've arranged something, this is super cool. I realize I know the primary choruses of all of these songs, but of course these cartoon introductions were often a minute long or longer. I looked up the original X-Men. Potential spoiler alert for the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Jump ahead 30 seconds if you haven't watched all the recent movies. But after they revealed Professor X in Multiverse of Madness, and you had the little sting from the cartoon theme when he came on, I went back and watched that cartoon theme again, and I'd forgotten how long it was. That's an amazing piece of music. Was that 80s? I don't know. That might have been. I think that was probably 90s. Yeah. Anyway.
So many news to scurry over here.
He sounds so much like him too. That's great.
G.I. Joe against Cobra, the enemy, fighting to save the day. He'll never give up, he's always there, fighting for freedom over land and air. G.I. Joe.
I love the pew 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 from Lane. This is a song I really can't comment on much because I've literally never heard it before right now. I don't know if this didn't... We got G.I. Joe toys in the UK. Did we get the cartoon? I honestly couldn't say. I don't remember seeing it, but then it also wasn't so much my thing. I sort of went through a few cartoons, but then I moved on to Thunderbirds and Power Rangers and sort of went that route rather than going down a lot of the cartoons. So there were definitely some I missed, like this.
American hero, G.I. Joe is there. G.I. Joe, all fight. Dashing and daring, courageous and caring, faithful and friendly with stories to share. All through the forest they sing out in chorus, marching along as their song fills the air.
Oh, I love that fill out there, where everybody comes in. This feels like it was a Jeff moment to me. I love that it's just Jane Unn for so long. This is a great song. It sits beautifully in his range, and then suddenly, right at the end of that line, you get the whole group breaking out into harmony. That's gorgeous.
Out in chorus, marching along as their song fills the air. Gummy bears, bouncing here and there and everywhere. High adventure that's beyond compare. They are the gummy bears, bears number 4.
That section of harmony right there is spectacular. That is utterly beautiful. That I really, really like. I think the way that was arranged was perfect. You had the one solo singing, and then everyone else would sort of echo a line in harmony just afterwards, or it would be this rich harmony of everyone singing together. That's excellent. That really shows them off very, very nicely, I think.
There's no case too big, too big, too small, you need help, just call.
Oh, that right there, you need help, just call. Again, the harmony in that section, the drop down from Jeff at the end, the precision percussion coming from Lane, that little sequence is gorgeous.
Too big, too small, you need help, just call. Bandale, rescue ranger, where there's danger, stranger, danger.
That's actually really impressive percussion as well. I don't know, there might be a small amount of processing going into Lane's mic, or rather coming out of Lane's mic, but the sound there of that really open tom, with almost a little bit of reverb in the back of it, that's really impressive. That just caught my ear. I didn't say this earlier, I love how they sing the numbers into the song. I was focusing so much on what the music was, I didn't really comment on that, but it's really cool, and they always do it in style, either of the current song or the next one. That's awesome.
My little brony.
So this, I'm guessing, is the Spider-Man moment. I don't think they're saying that My Little Pony theme is a bad one, but I love that they just break out and have a moment where it's like, this isn't actually what we're doing, but we're going to just have a comedic moment. Do I feel that Jeff almost cracked there? It looks for a second like he's struggling to control it. That's so good. Ellie's shaking his head. Earl's just like, what? And Lane and Jane Unn are so into it.
Clever and glitter, fashion and fame. Jim is truly
Do I guess from this that maybe because Gem and the Holograms is a band, right? Are the Misfits a rival band? I have absolutely no idea. I've never heard the song, I've never seen the show, I never read the comic if it's what I am thinking it was. This is purely just me speculating based on the nature of how they've done that arrangement. If that is what happened, nicely done, guys. It's a cool song, I like this, but yeah, I really don't know it.
The Misfits, never mind, we're gonna jet a dream. No one else is the same. Gem is my name.
Ooh, that's a really nice... I don't know how high Earl's gone, I haven't really been keeping track, but I love these high notes from him. And again, this is such my standing thing with VoicePlay, but the clarity from everybody at every point in their range and in every timbre is always so good. Yeah, lovely stuff.
Two Transformers. More than meets the eye.
I never watched Transformers much, but I always loved this piece of music. And it never quite made sense to me. And then I saw if you haven't seen it, Charles Cornell does a channel where he goes super deep into music. He explains it very basically, but he digs into heavy music theory. And he did a video on why this is such a bizarrely complicated theme song, and it's way more so than it has any right to be. And I watched that, and all of a sudden, my fascination with it made sense, because it was doing something musically I wasn't used to, and that's what I loved about it. I will link to that video down below, because it's well worth watching. But this is such an extraordinary piece of music. The timing is so strange. It's just, it's really interesting. His theories as to why it's that way are also really cool, which is also why I think it's an interesting video to watch. His whole channel is fantastic if you're into music theory. But yeah, this is a very, very cool theme song.
Autobots wage their battle to destroy the evil forces of the Decepticons. Transformers are robots in the number one.
And of course, it's the most logical thing for them to have that electronic breakdown, Lane going into more electronic sounding percussion, the breakup. That's very in line with Transformers, I think. That's great. I'm just going to jump a bit so I can run into DuckTales.
Robots in the number one. Like a hurricane here in Duckburg. Race cars, lasers, aeroplanes. It's a duck blue. Or rewrite history. DuckTales.
I love how they start that with Lane beatboxing at half speed, kind of giving it this sort of slower introduction before it picks up into the full speed when you hit into the chorus. It's such an effective arrangement. I love this song. I think it's one of those things whereas the moment you hear octaves, if I hear something start going bum 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 bum, even if it doesn't then do the bum 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 that it goes into, my brain starts hearing DuckTales straight. I think in the Hall of the Mountain King, Lane did 2 percussion hits where I was like, that reminds me of Sonic the Hedgehog, because it was just the right sound at the right kind of tempo that it made me think of that style. Octaves can make me think of DuckTales like that. It's such an iconic tune. One of my favorite cartoon themes of all time, hands down. And I love what they're doing with it here.
Or rewrite history. DuckTales. Every day they're out to make it. DuckTales.
Fairly standard to begin with, and then you get that lovely arpeggiated it's almost like a bell chord. That's so lovely, starting with the great low note from Jeff and then building up. It's giving it a little bit of uniqueness. This is so good.
Every day they're out to make it. DuckTales. Tales of daring, do bad and good luck. Tales of daring, bad and good, not ponytails or cottontails, but DuckTales. Woo.
I love Jane and ponytails. Yep, I got one of those. That's great. I love what they did with this. I think it keeps the spirit. It's such a happy theme. Something about this is just a very happy theme. And they keep that spirit so well in this. This is great. Yeah, I love it. Oh, I was trying to think earlier of there's another cool theme, and I knew this wasn't going to be in there. I think it's 70s, maybe? But Danger Mouse. If you've never heard the Danger Mouse cartoon theme, go and check it out. It's great. That's totally beside the point, though. This is fantastic. I really, really enjoyed this set of themes. I know I hadn't heard all of them, but they're all excellent. I can totally see why they picked them, and I know from the reputation, Gem and the Holograms I know a little less, but I know from the reputation of things like Gummy Bears and G.I. Joe that it makes complete sense that they would be on this list. This is awesome. I also love how they've set this up. Like the Broadway was a very clean set. The t-shirts gave away maybe what was going to be in there, but here you've got so much. Like, I'm just looking around at what's here and having nostalgia looking at some of the stuff that's kicking around. Snoopy. This is awesome. Well done for another excellent video. And thank you, if you are still here, for bearing with me through this crazy long video. I didn't really know what I was going to do today. I just wanted to do something fun for the fact that it's my anniversary of having started this channel on YouTube, and just something silly to say thank you to everybody kind of for joining me on this crazy journey I'm on, because it is a crazy journey, and the depth. I think I'm going to start doing, I don't know what I'm going to start doing. I need to figure out a way of prioritizing the list of to-dos that I have I must have at least 200 songs I've got to try and look at between 4 or 5 different a cappella groups, and some others that people have recommended, and just a couple of videos that have caught my eye. It's interesting, I think since I started doing this, videos I saw, for example, the band The Warning popped up randomly. I can't remember how. I think on Instagram maybe? Or maybe it was on YouTube, but no, it was on Instagram, because I looked into who they were. And then all of a sudden, I think I saw another reactor react to The Warning. And I don't know if maybe it's somehow an algorithm has cottoned onto the fact that this is what I'm doing, and because I'm following reactors and a cappella groups on Instagram, it's kind of started suggesting things that other people are doing. Or maybe it's just what's in the zeitgeist right now. I don't know. But yeah, so there's some things like that, where it's like it's popped up on my radar, and I'm like, that looks interesting. I should look into this further. So let me know. Maybe through Buy Me a Coffee. Maybe if somebody buys me a coffee with a recommendation, I'll bump that to the top of the list. I don't know. Is that a good thing? Tell me what you think. Is that something that you'd be interested in me doing? I have no idea. In the meantime, I think I'm just going to look and do things that I think look cool. I think Phantom of the Opera just jumped up the list based on that Broadway medley. And I also want to do... I've had The Little Mermaid on my mind to do for a little while, but I also want to spend some time with Home Free. I need to branch out into some of the other groups, Space Gang, Pentatonics, and then people have recommended other artists for me as well, and I want to look at all of this stuff, but I only have so much time, especially if I'm managing around one of these a week. Maybe in time I'll be able to do a bit more of that, but at the moment it's something I can only about afford that much time for, with a few exceptions like this video. Let me know what you think. Anyway, in the meantime, please like this video if you enjoyed it. Please subscribe to my channel, hit the bell, all the things. And if you'd like to, head over to buymeacoffee.com/DavidKReacts. You can donate to the channel and help me get towards getting a better light for these videos to start with. And I don't know, if you want to recommend something for me there, maybe I'll jump it. You folks tell me what you think works. Because I know people do Patreon polls and things like that. I don't feel like I'm quite big enough to have a Patreon yet. That might be down the line. So just something, I'm just trying to work out what to do in the meantime. Some food for thought. But anyway, thank you so much for joining me for this video. I'm going to be that person. Happy anniversary to me. 1 month of YouTube videos. That's kind of cool. And I've had so much fun over this period. I appreciate everyone who's come to join me. And I'm looking forward so much to the things I'm going to be doing in the future. Because I really get a kick out of doing these. So thank you all. And for now, take care. And I will see you in the next video. Bye.